Hello, hello. How are we doing? What's up, party people? Just wait for some people to come. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? We're just waiting on this cutie.
Can I have my chair?
I guess so.
Do you want me to put a blanket on this chair? We must make the chair a nice throne for the one and only.
For my royal bottom.
Sounds like Emma.
How are we doing, everybody? How are we feeling? Are we surviving or thriving? Please let us know. I think I know which one I am. Alona, what are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, okay.
We're somewhere in between.
I've been binging a lot of Simpsons, so my brain is kind of just full of Simpsons, to be honest.
I love that, especially in my phone. Look in my phone, Alona. That you look gorgeous, and I just look like.
You always look gorgeous. You don't have to put this amount of effort in. So we will twist this slightly to the middle. There you go. Now come in. So we're a little bit more, centered.
Sort out your framing, babe.
Okay, we're all good. Right. What time is it for everyone? Actually,
Where are we all at?
Where are you all at? What time is it for you?
Across the globe.
Can everyone hear us? I think they should be able to.
So, hello to Cynthia in Florida. I was there twice when I was 5/6. From what I remember, it was great, but I'm slightly biased because I was at Disney, so I only know Disney.
11 a.m. in Texas. Very nice.
Texas.
Shut up. Ireland 5 p.m.
Whoop whoop.
New Zealand 6 a.m. Bloody hell.
GMT.
Peter
crew.
Williams, that is commitment. Right, and thank you very much.
6 a.m.
It's 5 p.m. where we are, so a nice, comfortable time for us.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Crumpet and coffee time. Correct.
Amen.
We've got someone noon in Pennsylvania, 6 p.m. in Switzerland.
In Woking.
Practically
next door.
10 a.m. in Colorado. But oh my god, we're all over the place.
Nairobi.
I can't say. I was about to absolutely butcher that pronunciation. It's
Bonjour
guys.
from Normandy. Bonjour to you.
Also. We've got Wes in the chat who kept coming back to do his drumometer challenge.
Oh, it's Wes. How are we doing, Wes?
We're going to travel the world with that challenge, and you're going to come to every event. I can't wait for it. What day is it? It's Friday for us. I don't know if it's a different day. Have we gone into another day? Are we a day early or a day late for other people?
I don't know. You'd think by now we'd be better with time zones.
I know. My whole job is trying to figure out 5 o'clock somewhere. Yeah. Here specifically. What are we all up to? What are we all doing at this current times? I appreciate that. What important task have you interrupted to do this fun task?
What are you procrastinating from by watching this live stream?
We've got someone in Scotland, someone in Chile. Well, are we all having some food? Are we all having a little snack? Yeah. Are we interrupting work? Are we on a work break? What are we doing? Working.
On the clock.
On the clock.
Yes. So therefore we have to make this educational, therefore it's valid.
It's technically training.
Practically an open university.
Yeah. Really, you should get paid extra for doing this extra curricular activity.
I think so, yes, and we should get a cut of it. I think that would be quite good.
Just getting out of bed, very nice. I also like to get out of bed at 5 p.m. I did get out of bed at 1 p.m. today. Oh no, your car failed its MOT.
No.
I once had my car fail its MOT because the tyre place had put on the wrong tyres, so it wasn't even my fault, and I had to pay to fix it. I was not a happy bunny.
Snakes. Mine passed.
So I hope that you're able to get everything all sorted and get you back on the road.
Oh, Alan, looking after my missus who has had a hip replacement.
Oh my gosh.
I hope that she heals up very quickly and well.
Yes, let us know what her name is. We'll give her a little shout out.
Editing a lot
of
backing
vocals. I feel that pain as a vocal editor myself. Finished working and deserve my Heineken now. Yes, you do, Frank. Absolutely. I love this. We've got so many amazing people from all over the place. Yeah. Shall we? Breakfast drum lessons, quick call into work after. Love it. I love, but bish bash bosh. You've got a schedule planned.
So it is Saturday morning for someone.
For some people, yeah.
Interesting. So should we probably answer some drum related questions?
Let's do it. Let's get you educated. Yes. Let's get you schooled. Let's go.
Let's make it worth your time.
What questions do you guys have?
Okay.
Hit us.
Cynthia is struggling with increasing speed on feet and hand. What's the best way to improve speed? There are many ways and many aspects to increasing speed. But I'd say the biggest piece of advice I give to almost everyone is going slower actually gets you to go faster. Believe it or not. Technique is the biggest part, and that's the hardest thing to kind of get across without seeing your hands specifically. So, I mean, we do have, what is it? Which would be best? Coaching call or...
Probably coaching call.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well, you've been playing for 2 years, so you don't really need a taster lesson. I'd say you just need to chat to someone about
and see if you just need to unstuck the coaching calls.
Yes.
Let me pop the link. Hold on 1 second, lads. Let me absolutely grab that link for you.
We don't have the lovely Bex with us.
We don't have our team posting the links when we suggest things.
Wasn't Chris supposed to be?
Yeah, he's currently doing a coaching call. He's currently helping someone with their drums right now this second. So if you are stuck, whether you are beginner, intermediate or advanced, we do have free coaching calls available where you can speak to a professional drummer, an expert drummer.
You guys are missing out on the organisation right in front of me right now.
I've got a list of links.
Page of links. Right. So yes, in the chat is now being put the free coaching call link. So
that's on YouTube for those on Instagram.
Yes. Yeah.
But they are in our link trees in our bios, in Emma's bio and in the Love to Learn Drums bio.
So yeah, Cynthia, I would highly suggest having a chat with someone so they can actually see your hands / potentially feet, just so you can get a better grounding of what might help you specifically.
Yeah.
This is a very broad question. But if you want to improve foot speed, then I suggest you check out the video I've done talking about foot technique on YouTube on this channel here.
Let's go. Do you call them cookies or biscuits? We have both in the UK. So we clarify. Yeah, but biscuits and cookies are not the same thing in America, but we use both terms to address different things.
Yes.
A cookie is specifically like dough, like the doughy cookies with like chocolate chips and stuff. Like that is what we call cookies.
And they're usually bigger.
Yeah.
Biscuits are normally kind of.
And then biscuits are like little snacky, like wheaty snacks, like that. Hi guys, been playing over 20 years but never got lessons, so your stuff is helping me break a lot of bad habits.
What?
My question is tips for the Purdy shuffle, i.e. home at last, fall in the rain. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Take the floor.
Do you know what a shuffle is? You actually play one. No, actually you don't at the end of the Criminal. Basically it's a shuffle, so
oh, okay,
right?
Yeah.
But you put a ghost note in the middle.
Ooh, spicy.
And then you put in a backbeat.
Woo!
So the knack. There are kind of, again, many different things to this that make it a problem for different people. But the big one, I think, for people is just getting that hit with the ghost note and then the accent. So, how do I explain this without... you know what we need is a whiteboard. That's what we need.
I have a whiteboard, but I've got writing all over the whiteboard, but I do have one. If I take a picture of the whiteboard, I'll be willing to wipe out what's on the whiteboard.
So I can actually write out and explain to people what I mean. So basically, when you're doing the Purdy shuffle...
This is commitment. This is our band notes for what we've got coming up with our album.
I love and appreciate you for said sacrifice that is being made here. But just getting used to playing basically a ghost note and then a loud accent in the left hand straight afterwards. If you have played a Purdy shuffle, you probably know what the struggle is anyway. I don't think I have a video out talking about it specifically yet, but there is one coming if I remember rightly. But the other thing is just getting ghost notes quiet enough as well. People don't sit on just the right, left, right thing. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. That's the biggest thing that people just don't. I just sit with it. Just that bit, making it flow nicely, because I think of shuffles and stuff in as if it's like a circle. I know some people might find that a bit weird, but that's what I do. If my amazing, wonderful assistant can wipe out the board quick enough, I will actually write it out for you. because I think this would be quite interesting. We need to have a chat while I'm writing it. Okay, do we have a marker?
We've got
We
four.
have one. We have four.
We've got 4 colours to choose from.
No,
Green seems to wipe off the best. So
okay,
use green.
I'm not going to go for green. I'm going to go for black so people can see it. Sorry. Right. So let's see what we can do. In fact, do you want to do?
Can everyone see this in all Instagram as well? There we go.
Right, people. Let's have a go, shall we? Is it good enough? Let's find out. It's quite bright. It's quite overexposed. Okay, so you got your shuffle. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
The exposure's a little bit. Yeah.
Give us a go. This is the worst I've ever written out of shuffle. Hang on. This is because I haven't done
Does this help? No, it makes it worse. Okay.
So you got your shuffle, yeah? Imagine there's a little.
We're gonna have to go closer because no one can see this.
Get closer. Right. Show the kids.
Here we go.
So this is your shuffle. This is 2 beats of shuffle. We got a little gap.
I'll have to shuffle over for
in here.
Hello, kids.
Make space. Make way. In fact, I'm gonna go this way.
There we go. Look at that.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
So when we're doing a purdy shuffle, we've also got a ghosty goo in here. So imagine this is a we're following. Okay, cool. So, oh God, right. This is. There we go. We'll be look at that, and I love that this is actually going to be mirrored. So we're actually the wrong way around for Instagram.
Oh no!
We'll deal with it. So then we've got.
Go sit next to a mirror with your phone, and you'll be able to understand what's on the screen.
Yeah, I'm just going to wipe that off. So basically, we end up with one beat that has probably a bass drum down here as well. We have a group of, we split it into 2 groups of 3 basically. So if you split it down, said middle, you'll end up going right, left, right, just that, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. I love your little eyes above the board. And then you'll have hands come down together, left, right. This is the one that is a stickler for people because the dynamics are difficult to do because you're getting an accent here and then an accent here and then a ghost note here. So this is tricky for people, but just break it into 2 parts and isolate it before you do any funky bass drum whatsy-majiggies down here. Comprende? Understood?
Nice. I didn't take any of that.
Didn't take any of that in because you're distracted by you looking
I'm looking at myself.
Anyway, next question.
We've got the whiteboard, so if you have a question that might involve whiteboard, that is
I
in
might be able to
now.
write it out for you.
Can you please tell me how to handle dotted notes? Donna asks.
Okay, so bear with.
No, we have a whiteboard thingy. You'd have to ruin your jumper.
It's not ruined. It's fine.
It's behind you if you need it.
Dotted notes. So basically, yeah, a dot means we're adding on half the value of the note you've got it next to. Let me explain. So, quarter note. See? Yes. Put a dot on it. You're basically doing a quarter note plus a half note. Yeah? You following? Okay. So that dot is not pronounced enough with a big old dot. So it might be difficult to take in at first, but it just stops us doing something like, so basically now this is worth 3/8 notes, right? So if we're dealing with, I'm on the fly. Basically, if we were looking at, it would basically stop us from writing out.
You see the cogs turning.
Yeah, it would stop us from having to do like this and then an 8th note rest and then whatever we wanted to write after that, basically. So it's
like a shorthand, essentially.
It tidies things up quite significantly. Is there a more specific question to this? Because it's quite context dependent. Let's see.
Again, if you do need help with a specific song, free coaching call will be the one that will be able to
amen to that, because Emma is not working well off on the fly.
Does dot also mean staccato?
If you've got
that
a dot,
does not exist in drumming.
Yes, staccato doesn't,
because everything's staccato technically.
If you have like a dot underneath, that would technically be staccato. I guess if you were being like really what's it about something and you were like, you hit the drum and then hold it with a finger. Yeah.
How do you draw that in notation?
Little dot underneath.
Oh, that is what that means.
Okay. Or you might maybe get one above. Theory people, please tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this feels more correct than that. To be honest.
Donna said, my confusion on the Danny notes, it's just that I don't understand how to make it longer when it's just a hit on the drum.
You don't.
I feel like I had this question at some point.
So with drums, you can't have, unless you're playing with cymbals, and even then they often don't really notate the length of said cymbal because we're not waiting there to then mute it because it's a specific length. We don't really get like a certain length of note. So you just hit the drum normally and it will last for however long. It's just basically a neater way of writing, I don't know. So you'd have a bar, right? Oh dear. So we get 1 and 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and, right? That is the worst. I've got to get better. This is, can you tell?
The whiteboard is new. It's fresh. It's spontaneous. We're just going with it.
Yeah. So this basically stops us from writing 1, 2. Yeah. So we wouldn't have to write. Yes, we would have to write this, but it would then be this. See? Instead of going like that. So you got 1 and in here, 2, and then you got a note on the and. It just means we can go, sorry, Elena, like that, and it covers the same gap.
Knowledge.
You feel me? Sorry to everyone on Instagram who's currently reflected. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, let's pause whiteboard time, and we will return to whiteboard in a minute. Yes. Let's answer some sit-down questions. So there's someone who's asked, Drumming Java has said, how do I form a band or jam with people?
Jam nights. Go to jam nights, local pub jam nights. If you're in the middle of the Australian outback, that might be a struggle unless you're very friendly with the local kangaroo. So honestly, Facebook groups, finding local jam nights, people just getting together and hitting stuff. Or you could go a bit more organized and join like an adults like music club where people just learn stuff together. A more organized thing, like I used to teach for a thing called Rock School, for example. It used to teach all ages, but you'd have different ages at different times, basically. So have a look around.
Yeah, there'll be stuff in your local community, and if there isn't, then start something. Ooh. You can start a little club, make some friends.
Yeah.
But yes, the internet is your friend. Music has a lot of shorthand, and some of it might be redundant. I feel like that's true.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's answer some questions from Instagram. There was one earlier that I think.
Just a quick one. Sean, who's on here, not our Sean, but a Sean. I'm not left-handed. This is just mirrored.
It's mirrored, yeah. Someone was already answering the question. It was about the difference between marcato and staccato, I think. I'm not sure.
Honestly, you don't, in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to be dealing with staccatos and other more Italian-esque symbols. Big. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Because honestly, most of the time we don't have to deal with that. And if we do, you can kind of figure it out on the fly. Unless you're doing like musical theatre or actual orchestral or maybe big band stuff, you probably don't have to worry about it too much. But again, if you book yourself in for a coaching call, you might be able to chat to someone if you're doing something specific.
Emma, where do you get your passion for drums, and do you have any role models? Apart from me.
I mean, obviously.
I
don't know. I just play. I don't have any specific role models, to be honest. Like this morning,
she just likes hitting things and making noise.
Woke up and sat by my pad and just put a metronome on and zonked out.
Yeah,
I find it actually, now that I've had a bit of a gap, not playing for a little while. I just put the metronome on and I was like, oh, this is why I do this, because it was like all the cogs in my brain went, everything makes sense now. And it helps bring me to the present moment, which sounds very, what's it? But it's kind of true.
Well, you're a very spiritual person. And I think that drumming inherently, because it's a rhythmic instrument, is very meditative. Yes. So I feel like it's one of those, if you're the kind of person that struggles with a lot of noise in your brain,
great for anxiety.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
You take that out on your drum kit and you'll probably feel a lot better.
ADHD.
Yes. I'm surrounded by drummers with ADHD in my life. Let's see. When you say you're playing it up to speed, what would you say the tempo is when you know you've got it? Seems you can go pretty fast. When you say you're playing up to speed, what would you say the tempo is when you know you've got it?
It's not so much about the tempo. It's about how it feels in your hands. If there's a specific tempo you need to get it up to, if it doesn't feel comfortable at that tempo, then you haven't got it. I often kind of, I don't know if I might have explained it this way to you, but the way I think about it is if you're playing something and you're thinking about it really hard or thinking about it at all, really, and you're not able to let your mind focus on other elements like the click or whatever while playing it correctly, then you haven't got it. I also kind of think of it as when I'm practicing something, it feels like I'm walking through water. So that resistance you feel, I feel that up here. So as that starts to ease off,
oh my God, yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It is literally like walking through treacle.
Yes, in other cases.
Wading through mud.
And if that treacle is too thick, then you just got to slow down and it will get less. It's like a non-Newtonian.
I was literally about to say Newtonian liquid. Yeah, when you put too much pressure, it's hard. But then if you go slow, then it lets you go. Someone said on Instagram, great to see the latest Knocked Loose album on the wall behind. I'll be taking credit for that. This is my office. Me and my partner share this office. We both love Knocked Loose. She's boring, doesn't like heavy music.
Not really.
Let's see. Do you have any tips or exercises for improving the speed on double stroke rolls? Is it basically just practice? I saw someone else ask about double stroke rolls.
It is
as well, I think.
To be honest, and I give this, but I'm like a just broken record on a lot of this stuff because the advice is the same. With singles or doubles or anything repetitive like that, it's just about making sure your hands are even. So it's about working out that left,
the giga
cube, so I can. It's just about making sure that both hands are even, which I can't really get across on here, to be honest. Like, for example, it's making sure the fingers are engaging in both hands. This is really good.
These Nido Nice Cubes, I wish they would sponsor us because they're genuinely really good practice pads.
The cheapest practice pad you could ever get. Granted, if you're brand new, there's no way you're going to be able to. You're not going to be able to actually use that other thing. But so what was is it about speed?
About speed, improving the speed on double strokes, double stroke rolls.
The thing that's stopping you is probably your left hand if you're right-handed. So working on that and making sure that you're using rebound. So notice how I get one note, you can't really see, but hand opens up, and then it's just a closing of the hand to get the second one as we go back up to do the first one. So it's mega efficient. Whereas if you're going 1, 2 from your wrist, that's going to top out about there. Whereas using that technique can get mega fast.
We've got someone asking. So Rowan is asking. I'm trying to figure out Bohemian triplets. Have you any advice? What is a Bohemian triplet?
Google it, because my phone is currently ringing.
What's Bohemian triplet?
Because when I read that, I was like, what triplets are there in Bohemian Rhapsody?
The Del Rubio triplets were an American folk band that became famous. No, that's not correct.
Is it a rudiment?
It must be a rudiment of some kind. You're going to have to school us.
I don't know what that
Rowan, I don't think we know this. Is it possible to continue using this kit to learn to play? Would it be recommended to get better on newer gear? They're talking about an Alesis Nitro.
I can't speak on Alesis because I've never really used them. But if you're feeling like it's actually the gear that's limiting you, then it probably is. As long as you haven't got gas, which is gear acquisition syndrome, then you
feels like something I would end up having.
If the equipment you're using is putting you off from playing the drums, then you probably should upgrade. That's my overarching opinion.
Yeah, I would say if you are thinking that you might want to upgrade but you're not really sure what to go to, see if there's a music shop or a drum shop local to you where you can try out different kits, because you might be surprised by another brand that might be really, really good for you, or just like a slightly different kit and you just need to have a play and see what the different ones are like. I think maybe instead of Bohemian they meant Bonham.
Oh, Bonham
is what
trippers.
I'm thinking is what they probably meant.
Instead of doing the whole rigmarole of explaining this again, I feel
there's definitely a video on the YouTube channel.
A video that I've done on it, because I'll probably explain it much better in that.
We had a question earlier. There was a big question on here. Let me roll up. Here we go. I play in a jam band and I feel like I could play comfortably with louder sections, but do you have any advice for more minimalistic percussion for introduction or outro sequences?
I don't really know what that question is.
So I'm guessing it's more like when you have to improvise, how would you approach minimalist stuff that's still interesting, I think is maybe the question.
Louder sections. But do you have any advice for minimalistic percussion?
So when they're having to go down in dynamics.
Yeah. I mean, just developing a bit more control. So things like singles and doubles will be helpful. It's honestly, the knack is not thinking about height. So when can you scooch the camera? So often when we're playing, it's all wrist. So if you're comfortable doing those louder sections, you're probably doing a lot of this. Whereas when we get to those more subtle stuff, notice how much the stick is doing. I'm barely moving, right? But you can do this. And that's when you get the flowery, doubly, like, that kind of rubbish. That was all. What was that?
I've really struggled with that at the end of. Who in here has watched the last episode of Emma teaching me drums?
Who likes the edit on it? Because I do. I think Bex has done
an amazing job. I really struggled with. Oh gosh. It's all falling apart here. I really struggled with the end bit where it was like 1, 2. It was like, sorry, 1, 2. What was it? I really struggled with that.
Alternating triplet.
And when I actually did the performance, I just kind of went, didn't actually do it properly.
Yeah.
I tried really hard to practice it. And there's a clip in one of the videos in the series where I'm like sat there meditatively, like drilling it for like half an hour straight, and I was like, I'm getting somewhere, but I really don't think I did.
When you're doing hand-to-hand trip, I was telling you to accent the first of each group, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because eventually, when I was talking about the like water resistance feeling, once that gets easy enough, you can start to focus on just the that and the other notes just happen. And you're just thinking about this, but that's going on.
That's just happening naturally.
So that's the thing. That's how we manage to get that consistent and also in time, because we're not thinking about all those notes. I'm not, anyway.
Hey Emma, when playing with 3 toms, is it better to align the snare drum with the center of the high tom, or is it better to put the snare slightly to the right?
When it comes to setups, I'm probably not the girl to ask.
We get questions about this kind of thing a lot.
Yes,
and then
I feel like I am not the one to ask, because I just kind of go with whatever ends up happening. Also, I don't have a 3-tom setup. I usually just use 1 high and then 1 floor tom, because I put my ride cymbal in place of the mid tom. At the end of the day, it's just about what you can get most comfortably to without having to reach too far or too weird, basically. So as long as you've got a nice move around the kit without having to, lean forward and move your spine, that's ideally all you really want.
I've seen you commenting on videos. Is that something you do, and how does it work? Would love to get some feedback on grooves. Yes, we do periodically open out a form where you can submit a video of your drumming. We've had a lot of submissions. So we have had to close it at the moment, just because we haven't been able to get through.
It's been on me.
We haven't been able to get through all of the submissions, but
I'm working on it.
Once she has just filmed another one, responding to people's video submissions and giving them feedback and like explaining and stuff like that. So when we open that out again, just keep an eye on our socials, because we'll post when we open that out again. But you can just fill out a form giving us some context about your background and your experience, little video of you drumming. And then we'll have a little watch. And then we'll put it on our YouTube channel. And you
might
can
be
watch.
interesting to have you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch them and be like, they did a great job, and you're gonna be like,
rubbish,
terrible. Or I'm like, I don't know what they just did, and you're like, it's really impressive. I'm like, sure, they're just hitting the drums. I don't know.
I mean, that could be cool to do together. Maybe we should do some with Greg as well.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Do you practice with the acoustic kit usually?
I wish I did, but I don't have one. Funnily enough, considering I do this for a job and we've got like 1 million followers,
I know.
I don't have an acoustic kit really close
available
by and available.
to you. Yeah.
I mean, there is one, but it's just a bit far away, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's on me for not.
We'd need to pay for like
we need a
practice spaces, yeah, and they are expensive. So acoustic kits in the house. Acoustic kits not in the house. Electric. I have an electric in the house all the way. Let's see. People talking about laces. Do you have any videos or pointers for tuning? I suck at it, lol. Again, a question that we get so much and unfortunately not experts on. We are planning on filming some videos on this topic, but in collaboration with other people who know a lot more. It's just logistical and scheduling conflicts that have prevented that from happening so far. But it is in the pipeline. We want to make that happen. We'd love to do as part of our membership, we do lots of little mini online programs on various drumming topics. And one of the really popular ones is the Drum Setup Wizard, which is basically just like a proper guide on how to set up your drum kit. Yeah. And I think we'd really like to do one on tuning because it's a whole. That's a whole thing, and it needs honestly diving into. Too long, I'm going to talk to Ryan. We'll just film something so we've got a guide because even she needs the guidance. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see any questions on here. What's a good age to start playing drums? My son, 12, started recently. As soon as possible. She started at like 3. I don't think there is a lower limit. Well, there's no lower limit, to be honest, as long as you've got infinite patience. Like, if kids feel drawn to drums, let them hit the drums. Let them hit the drums. That's a way that they can exert their energy, and then they come home after their drum lesson. But there's also no upper limit either. Which is exactly why I made the crash course, because people seem to think that as soon as you get old, you can't play drums. And it's like, no, not true. It's a different thing, dude. We actually did a podcast on that. I don't know if it's out. It is out. It is out. I've pinned the message in the YouTube chat for the free coaching course. But if you want to learn a little bit more, you can speak to the coach about the crash course. But if you want to learn a little bit more about our crash course that we do, the 28-day accelerated course, where basically you have tons of lessons, tons of support. You get a practice plan, so you know exactly what you're doing. You get a million bonuses. Basically, if you have a very specific, we help you set a very specific goal. Yeah. So let's say you want to learn how to play Danny California, and you've been dying to do it, and you want to perform it in front of your family. You can get to that point potentially in a month. And we will also help you set a goal that is realistic as well. So if you don't achieve said goal, we'll keep teaching you for free. Yeah. So look into it. It's a win-win-win. Dismiss and any other questions? Come on, people. We need some. What do you want to know? Do some whiteboard questions. Now that the whiteboard is in play. What's your favourite song to drum? Do you have a favourite song to drum? I don't. I'm weird. I've always just ended up just jamming with myself. Like, I can play along to songs, but I find it less inspiring than just sitting with a metronome in silence, so to speak. Does that make me weird? Maybe it does. It would explain a lot, to be honest. What is the best height, position, and angle to put a ride at to use it as a crash ride? I don't know. And I'm not afraid to say it, to be honest. Look it up on YouTube. Someone's probably got better advice than I would, to be quite frank. It depends on the individual. It depends how bloody tall you are. So, I don't know. Let's see. So I'm just going through the list to find questions. Yeah. Do you have any fun exercises for dexterity other than the classic paradiddles? She loves paradiddles. What does dexterity actually mean? You're terrible
We're
at
always
this.
talking about independence.
Dexterity is like flexibility
Yeah.
and looseness of your limbs. I think
paradiddles are pretty killer. 6-stroke rolls. I mean, I know I always talk about paradiddles and 6-stroke rolls because they're that good. Like if you're trying to get a little bit more, so then start doing things like 3-stroke roll. Ooh, that's 3 in each hand. Yeah, or 4 if you want to do that. So
I love that the cube has just become a practice pad.
But that'll be good for like hand strength and dexterity.
Someone's put whiteboard question: can you draw a cat? Way ahead of you.
Do we have a cat on it already?
There's already a drawing of a cat because I have a cat called Goob who's really fat, and my boyfriend has drawn Goob is still fat on the corner of the board because I have it also on my other whiteboard that's on the wall. Just about to do my grade 2 exam, but so bored of sessioning the same 3 songs. I feel that. What could I practice next without falling straight into the grade 3 practice and boredom?
Well, I mean, if you have a teacher already, I'd talk to them about it. If you're getting that bored of doing grade
that means
stuff,
you're smashing it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That means that you're just doing the same 3 songs because you know them really well. So it might be worth just expanding that repertoire.
Ask your teacher to give you the different songs to learn on top that are of a similar kind of level, basically. So you're learning in the right sphere, or potentially songs that use the same skills. Because obviously, if you're going through grade, you're learning
or
as well.
Ask them to, set you ahead on some grade 4 songs. Oh, might as well push ahead. If you had to break a 30-minute daily practice session into 3 parts, how would you focus your time? That is a really good question.
It depends how long the practice session is, but
literally says a 30-minute.
Oh, 30 minutes. Sorry. So 10 minutes on whatever, like each thing. 10 minutes at the end doing whatever you want that keeps you sane.
The fun thing that you're actually drumming for, and then the first 20 minutes is on the.
Well, 5-10 maybe if you want to like just wake up your hands a little bit. But honestly, you might be able to just jump into the thing you're trying to practice, depending on how intense it was. I'd say try and break down what you're trying to practice into small chunks as possible if you're learning a new thing. If you're learning, for example, you've been doing the same song for weeks and you're now just getting used to playing through the thing, just play through the thing. Iron out all the little bits that need doing, because most people stop learning a song, for example.
I had that where I kind of hit a wall where I was like, well, I can kind of play this now the whole song through, so in my brain I kind of ticked it off as okay, done, and then, finished, but actually there's so many things that need brushing up and tightening. The
thing that you actually helps you progress the most is that last 15, 10, even 5% of nitpicking. So do the nitpicking. But yes, I'd break it down and just make sure basically that you have some time at the end of your practice to do whatever you want to do, because then it will help you focus on actually doing the thing you need to do, knowing that you have something fun,
like a reward at the end. Do you think young drummers put more stock in energetic drummers like Ginger Baker, Keith Moon, Neil Peart, in brackets I'm old, who are all over the kit, as opposed to more subdued steady drummers like Nick Mason?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I'd assume that because people just like things that are exciting, and especially young people want fast, impressive, you get the kind of traditional route for drummers, I think, is like you start playing rock and maybe pop and stuff like that, and then you get a bit more technical, so maybe some funk, Tower of Power kind of realm of things, and then you go, actually there's a lot more to this. Let's go into jazz and Latin and this. Some people completely bypass that and just start with jazz. Depends on who you are. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. But you often see it's to me anyway, the older you get, people start to get into the more technical, the more like nuanced side of things. So the more jazzier / world music-y end of the spectrum. That's what I've seen anyway.
We've got someone on Instagram has asked, do you switch sticks between 7A, 5A, 5B, or do you just use the same size always, or mainly?
I mean, mainly I'm 5A because I don't end up doing jazz unless there was a gun to my head. But if I was, or if I'm doing more folky / things that just require less volume, then I'll probably swap to a 7A. If I'm in a venue that is tiny, I'll be playing 7As because it's just less punchy. If I'm playing a gig with you, I'm usually on 5Bs just because it's a bit louder. But again, depends on the venue, probably 5As because it just doesn't need to be that loud. So occasionally when I need to swap, I do, but I'm usually on 5As, basically.
This person has said, I just purchased a stand-up cocktail kit. Do you have any experience playing one?
Absolutely none.
What's a cocktail
If anyone
kit?
else has, I'd love to know. If you want to chat about it in the Discord, please do.
I would get the Discord link.
Yes, she's on the link.
That's another link that's not on my list of links. Yes. Damn it. Let me find
She's on it. Just because that might be a better place to chat about different drum kits. I'm going to just look over a little bit.
Yep, that's okay.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to know a little bit. I mean, the F-Note Mini I've got is basically a tiny cocktail kit, and it's definitely an interesting thing to play because it's so small. But yeah, I'd like to know what other people think, to be honest.
Discord.
Can I ask what is best? Straight 8 or 4 to the floor? I'm biased. 4 to the floor because I love disco.
We have an ebook on disco, actually.
To death. I love disco. Yes, there is more to it than just 4 to that.
If you are on our membership, if you go to the members area, you'll see in the ebook section a little book that Emma put together about disco grooves.
Yes, and many other
funky
books that I've put together.
So many. There's like 50 now. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's see. With zero experience, no lessons booked, do you think it's worth getting some sticks and a pad to just start with rudiments, not to go into the first lesson completely cold? I think you can do either. But if you already got that motivation to just get on with it, there's a lot that could be self-taught.
If you want to just
to
start
get yourself
the ball
going.
rolling.
Yeah.
Yes, but also at the same time,
teacher will stop bad habits.
You don't need me. This is why we have you. Because there we go. I'm going to stop talking.
No,
you nailed it.
You've got the drum.
I'm not even mad.
Let's see. I'm trying to give some more love to Instagram because I don't want them to feel abandoned. Who
don't have one?
No inspiration
or a reference? Not really. Not specifically, anyway.
Oh, which song is best to introduce playing drums to a beginner?
There are so many. Most people go down the AC/DC kind of route, but honestly, some of that stuff can be pretty tough and quite fast. So often you see people going down like Yellow by Coldplay, or
I see a lot of Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Yeah. Actually, one I really enjoyed teaching to kids was a cover of So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings, but it was like twice as slow.
Oh, okay.
So it was really chill. Or Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill, if you know that song. It's so good. But there's a lot of flams in it, so you go blah, 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 blah. So depending on the level you're at, you can take out the kicks. If you're dealing with kids especially, you can just get them.
Someone's saying on Instagram, Seven Nation Army. That's also a really big one. Yeah.
So many.
Someone asked, who is next to you, Emma? Who am I?
I don't know. I've never met.
She's in my house.
Yeah.
And she's just started a live stream.
I'm encroaching on.
We are answering questions on YouTube. We're answering questions on YouTube, Instagram, on both Instagram accounts. But yes, we've got more people on YouTube. Let's see. Yellow was my first song, so satisfying, not hard, but there are ghost notes and open hi-hats and enough to challenge a new drummer.
Exactly. Or
The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, that's a good point.
We've played that live with the band multiple times. Good. It always goes off so much because it's such a good song.
Yeah. Well, if you're less of a beginner, but you want to try out one of our songs, you can just go and look. I think the link is actually in.
It is. If you have been on our YouTube channel, well, I'm assuming those on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel and check out the latest series that we just did of Emma teaching me how to play drums, but she was specifically teaching me Criminal, which is one of our songs from our band, and we have the sheet music. It's simplified because I'm not an expert drummer. I'm very much a beginner.
Suited to
but if you are a beginner and you want to learn one of our songs, then you can learn along, and you'll probably do it better than me in 28 days because
that's not true. You did really well.
The last performance hurt. I cried a lot. We didn't edit that in. I was very stressed. I just wanted to do a good job.
We are not going to the UK Drum Show.
No, the Europe Drum Show.
Yeah, we're not going to the Europe Drum Show this year.
Because we haven't got any money.
We're just prioritising,
we can't fly out.
We can't have the main editor and the main admin person and the main salesperson go out and do something.
Which is Emma, and Emma.
No.
No.
No, thank God. It would go horribly wrong if it was.
But yes, fun fact, if people don't actually know, Emma edits... Like along with, so we have Sean, our pillar editor, who does all of the boring stuff. Yes. He does all of the boring editing.
He makes my raw video into something that makes a bit more sense and takes out all the swearing and the other stuff.
She adds all the bells and whistles. So she's doing all the funny gimmicks and sound effects, and it's all her.
Well, we have,
whilst also filming the videos.
We have.
I don't know how.
Just recently brought on 2 people to help. I need help.
Let's see. To Adam's question, can you recommend a particular rudiment book for beginners?
There is, apart from the ones I've written, I can't call out any specific rudiment books, which sounds terrible. It's because I grew up doing all the grades, so they were kind of integrated into every single grade. I did Trinity Guildhall, and I found it to be the best whole package in terms of integrating rudiments at a continual pace instead of trying to tackle them all at once. So I can't vouch for a specific book, unfortunately, but I'm sure there's tons of people on YouTube / Amazon who will suggest ones. But we have done one. Yes, we have. There is an ebook.
I would be surprised if we hadn't.
Yeah, it's something like a creative title, like how to actually use rudiments.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what it's called, and it's singles and doubles specifically. Yes. Again, that's in our membership. So you know what? I keep talking about the membership.
Yeah.
I'm just going to send you the link.
It's a good idea.
So you can learn more.
Look at this. Look at this.
There you go. That's our membership.
Coaching.
My throne keeps sinking and I refuse to lose weight. Super glue or concrete figs? Valid question.
A different stool that isn't just clamped like what's the word? Oh God, this is so annoying. You know, when you have like a screw, like basically you've got the seat pole thing and then you've got the rod. If it's just a plain rod, it'll go if you're too heavy. So if you get one that's oh God, that's so annoying, like routed, that word.
Yeah.
That you actually have to spin for it to move. That will stop that from happening. Coaching by clay. Emma signed my sticks. Woohoo! It is really hard to sign sticks.
Yes.
By the way, there's not a lot of
feat in and of itself. How does it feel? How do you feel about becoming a drum celebrity?
It's weird because it doesn't really affect day-to-day life.
She got recognised at the job centre the other day.
It was so
This does not pay what you think it does.
Oh my God, it was so funny. I walked through the door and the security guard looks at me and goes, Emma? Yes, you are expecting me, right? And yeah, so he was very
You're sweet. Like, this is a very personal greeting for my appointment.
It was very sweet. And he basically escorted me to the elevator and kind of followed me like a very cute puppy. And he was kind of waiting for me to finish because I said I was going to give him our email. So yeah, and then he escorted me out. We had a lovely chin wag about the membership. So if you'd like to support me, you can either join the membership or you can actually follow the link in my link tree on Instagram and donate to PayPal because
she's having to go to the job centre.
Yes.
I'm extremely rusty. Do you have any suggestions on how to start out easy and knock the rust off? Someone else also asked if you have been having a relatively long break, how do you get back into drumming?
Well, this is actually quite appropriate because today was the first time I picked up sticks in a while. I will not disclaim how long because I do not know. But I literally just sat and played singles and doubles and all the basic stuff, but with a click. So just literally, what it feels like is ironing out kinks, basically. Much like, you know, when you're massaging a muscle and you're getting a knot out, it's kind of like that. So it's just waiting for those, like, it feels like cobwebs kind of coming off. And what I also love to do is just sit with a pad, and improvise. Whatever comes out, doesn't matter if it's messy and ugly, it will progressively get less messy and ugly. So that's normally what I'd do. Are you actually?
Yes, well, so Peter Williams has asked, buy Emma coffee.
Buy Emma coffee.
She has, we don't have a Patreon or like a Cash App or anything like that, but Emma has, if you want to just donate just straight to Emma, You won't get anything back, but it's
apart from my love and affection.
And so you can click on the PayPal link, and if you kindly want to donate to her, then you're also welcome to. But if you would like something back for your cash doll, then I would recommend looking into our membership, because the membership includes oodles of things. You get one-to-one lessons with expert drum teachers. You get practice plan. You get weekly workshops. Membership. You get weekly workshops. You get all of our ebooks. Also, when we do free weekly ebooks on our website that gets posted every week. I was trying to finish. Oh, Sheop. There we go. But if you are a member, the moment that book is written and finished, we upload it to our website, to the members area. You get it early, way before everyone else, so you don't have to wait and scour your emails and make sure you're subscribed. You just get it on the fly, and you can download it whenever you like, and the link won't expire or anything like that. We have tons of online programs. Some of the online programs, there's ones on rock drumming, funk drumming. There's a coordination for drummies. Yep. There's, oh my God, there's so many drum setup.
Yeah.
There's 7 fills that will work 97% of the time. Yeah. There's so many. It's because I have to look at it all the time. Yeah. But yeah, we've also got drum loops, video lessons. A lot of the video lessons that you see on our YouTube channel, a bunch of them are on the membership. We are slowly in the process of getting them all uploaded. There's just so many.
There's so many.
But they are, crucially, they are labeled, organized into playlists, much easier to navigate than just going on our social media and being like, oh, there's just millions of videos. How do I find what I'm looking for? YouTube obviously has a search function, which is kind of the closest thing that you'll get. But on the membership, things are actually labeled and organized in a way that is way clearer to understand.
And
so,
if you want something for free, then you can just sign up to our mailing list and you get a free ebook.
You get a free ebook every week. We don't send spam or anything. It's literally just the free ebook every week and like updates. If you are on the membership, then you'll get sent the workshop afterwards. You can watch it back at any time and look at the resources and all of that stuff. And yeah, if you need some help and you haven't really got the budget, which is totally fine because everyone's poor right now. World economic crisis. Here we are. We do free coaching calls. So you'll see tagged on YouTube, and it's in our link trees for those on Instagram. You can speak to a drum expert, whatever you're struggling with, whatever hurdle that you're struggling to get over at the moment. They'll be able to help you out and point you in the right direction going forward so you can get unstuck. Someone is saying, what scene from Whiplash moved you the most other than the most obvious last scene? I love Whiplash. You haven't seen it, have you? Everyone point at Emma. Shame. It's such a good movie.
I don't really watch movies. I'm a bit weird.
It's such a good movie. Whiplash. If you haven't watched Whiplash, highly recommend it.
The only movies I've seen are Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, and Kill Bill.
And you've watched Rocky Horror Picture Show about a million times.
Those and Clue, I could actually just quote the whole movie from the beginning. If I was watching the movie, you may as well not watch it because I would be busily going, wait for this bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like Whiplash. I think it's a really interesting insight into the psychology of musicians and how obsessive they can get with their craft. I think it's fantastic. Ooh, really good film.
That's a good question.
How do you choose your drum tutors? So we have a page on the website where you can meet everyone in the team and see what everyone is like. There's like bios and videos of them drumming, a little bit list of what kind of things they specialize in. So if you just go to our website and hover over contact, you'll see meet the team, and you can go see all the different teachers, and you'll see if they're accepting students.
I think the question more is, how do we choose?
How do you like personally choose a teacher for who? No.
Yes. So basically we watch a lesson of them teaching somebody, and then me or Chris go through and kind of determine what we think of their teaching style and whether it fits what we're kind of going for, which we try and go for higher energy people that reflect a similar vibe, because otherwise it might be a bit stark contrast from what I do.
And someone who's flexible ultimately as well, isn't going to just try and put you on a specific syllabus and just give everyone the same thing. We want people who are like flexible. In terms of if you are a student and trying to choose which teacher might be the best for you, the good thing about the membership is that you're not stuck to any specific teacher. There's tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 gives you 2 lessons every 4 weeks. Tier 2 gives you 4 lessons every 4 weeks, so weekly or bi-weekly, basically. If you want to mix and match and have, you know, a lesson with one teacher and a lesson with another teacher and just see the different perspectives that they can offer you and try out different people, you can do that.
I don't know why I did that.
So you can just try out different people. If you have a coaching call and you are interested in signing up to the membership, you can speak to the coach about that. And from the conversation that you had with the coach, they might be a teacher that's actually teaching on the membership. So if you like them, you can book in with them, or they can recommend to you who they think would be, because obviously the team all speaks and we all know what everyone else is like. So the coach that you speak to will be able to recommend what teacher they think that you should try and book in with. If you do our crash course, we will kind of take that thinking away for you, and we will allocate the teacher for you, because some people choose to do the membership for a couple of months first and try out the different teachers, and then they do their crash course. Some people dive straight in with the crash course. Most people do that. And we will allocate the teacher based on, you know, you'll have like multiple calls first, figuring out what you need, what your schedule looks like, what kind of thing you want to work on, and then we'll match the teacher to fit you the best. And then pretty much everyone so far has been like, cool, I love this teacher that you've allocated to me. I'm going to carry on the membership with that specific teacher. So that's the idea.
Yeah, I think the question has been answered. He was already like, okay, I will look into it.
Oh, we'll look into it. Cool. Yes. Let's see. What tips do you have for me to be fluent with electric and acoustic drums? Because band has acoustic, but home is electric. A great question.
I mean, it's a very short answer, but practice on both. It's quite simple.
How would you transfer? The thing is, if you primarily are only really able to practice at home on an electric, how do you consciously bear in mind things that are going to crop up when you're playing live with a band?
Trying to get some time on an acoustic so you get an understanding of the volume differences. So if you have, for example, if you've played on electric your whole life, well, similar to me, but I got time on acoustic. If you've had time on both, then you're able to kind of jump on an acoustic, and there's like a getting used to period. But if you've just had electric, you might have a case where you're like, oh, my snare drums aren't loud enough. I'm not hitting it loud enough. So I'm just going to turn it up on the drum kit instead. So you're only going, and you're getting, whereas on acoustic, you're much more conscious of that. And also, it's probably more likely the other way. Acoustic drums are so loud.
They're so loud.
Especially cymbals.
Incredibly responsive as well. So like the tiniest little touch makes noise, whereas with an electric kit, that's so much more controlled.
Yes. So it's just being aware of the fact that you'll probably have to hit less hard on an acoustic.
That's true.
For sure.
You might want to hit harder though, because it's fun.
It is also harder work because everything's further away, because everything's bigger in a lot of cases. Unless you've got an electric kit that's one of those fake shelled acoustic ones. But it takes a bit more work as well. It gives you less back.
Yeah. I saw someone asking earlier with the online lessons, because all of our lessons are taught online, so you can have lessons from anywhere in the world with a teacher anywhere in the world. How do they do the audio setup? So that's part of what we do with the coaching calls, and also when you do the crash course, you do a pre-enrollment call where we go through all of the tech so that none of your lesson time is wasted trying to set up Zoom and set up your audio and all of that. We handle all that in advance so that you can just focus on drumming in your lessons. But it's not as complicated as you think. It's kind of as complicated as you want it to be. As far as I'm aware, it's literally just play out loud and Zoom will be able to pick it up, because there's settings that you can change it to of original sound, so it will be able to pick up the drumming, because otherwise the general settings will try and block it all out. But when you're having the lessons, they'll be able to, your teacher will be able to help you with the settings, and then they'll be able to hear you. If you are a clever clogs and you know how to, send everything through a digital audio station and, send it through Zoom, you can do it like that, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be as complicated as that. It's as complicated as you want it to be. If you want to get really techie with it and make sure that, your teacher can hear you sneeze, every audio decibel of that,
You can do it on iPad or phone, but we do recommend that you try and do it on a laptop.
It's best on a desktop computer or a laptop, but you can do your lessons on a phone or an iPad if that's what you have. We try and make sure that the lessons and everything that we do is accessible to everyone, regardless of what tech and what stuff that they have. Let's see. Do you do any online requests play along or any other media?
Not really. We've been and ahhing about streaming stuff, but I don't really have a place that I can really do that, because the flat I'm in, the bass drum is very loud still, even though it's an electric kit. So I don't think it's the best idea to do it right now. But
if that's the kind of content that you like, do you know genuinely who I would recommend you check out is Mr. Greggles on Twitch.
Greggles.
He's a really good friend of ours, and he does exactly what you're describing. He plays all sorts of genres. His repertoire is insane, and he's an incredible drummer, and his setup is fantastic. You can request songs, you can change what camera angle you're looking at. It's bloody interesting. It's really good. Let me get the link for you for YouTube. Greggles. If you look up Mr. Greggles on Twitch, but I'll post the link for everyone to have a look. He is a bit good. And we are actually going to be visiting him next week and doing a live stream on his Twitch. So you should check him out because it is free to watch. And you can watch us hang out. And then Emma will actually maybe play some drums.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Play along to some music on Twitch. So you can follow that. Are there any good... Is there a good reliable place I can get drumless tracks?
I would recommend, especially in this day and age, if you get Moises, like noises, but with an M at the beginning, because AI removes specific instruments. If you go for a premium, whatever, you pay some money for it, you can get.
It will sound really quite good, but the free version is still
great. You can still remove the drums, like you can remove one instrument, I think, in the free version anyway. So I'd highly recommend checking that out.
Because then you can make any song a drumless track. And then you're not limited to just
I'm not going
library.
to tell you how you get songs from YouTube to convert to an MP3, but maybe if you just Google what I just said, it might be.
Then you might be able to do it.
I might suggest you have an ad blocker if you do that / virus protection. There we go. I've said my piece. Moises, check it out.
How do the lessons work if I have an electronic drum kit with headphones only? Will I need to buy an amp? No, you don't need to. I think, the electronic drum kit, you should be able to feed the audio from the electronic drum kit.
Actually, let me clarify. So if you got yourself an interface, and this might be starting to get a little bit technical, all that is just a little box. That means you can get a cable going from electro drum kit to a box into computer in a kind of streamlined way. You should be able to do it that way. But if you want a simple way of doing it, probably getting an app might be easier.
You can get an app, but often what a teacher needs to be able to see is actually just see what you're doing with your hands and with your feet and stuff. So it's not necessarily crystal clear. Audio is not necessarily the ultimate priority because they can figure it out and they can hear the pad noises, which will give them an idea of your actual timing. So if you're a beginner just trying to get, the first bit going, that actually you won't necessarily need to do that
if you were thinking of doing something like the crash course or the membership and having regular lessons and stuff, I do suggest having something, because if you had a goal of learning a specific song, you're probably going to want to be able to hear that song and play along with it and have your teacher hear you while you do that. But that's something you can talk to them about while you're doing it, if that's something you want to do. So you can talk to people about it if need be.
Let's see if there's any questions.
I think we're kind of over, actually.
We're kind of, we're supposed to finish at 6 because Emma's got a lesson.
7. Yeah.
So I think, sadly, we'll have to cut it here. But it's been lovely talking to you.
It's all right.
I mean,
Donna,
no one knows who I am.
Compliment.
Yes, Donna, thank you for your great questions. Anyone who is wondering who I am, my name's Ilona. Because I appreciate that I'm just also here.
Yeah.
Me and Emma are in a band together called Ilona Mayu. And you'll be able to find a series of Emma teaching me drums on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
And if you want to know more about our band, they'll be linked in Emma's link tree on her Instagram profile and all that lovely stuff. And you can listen to our music and see if you think it's all right.
Any good? Do you want to put the band link tree?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, because God knows, I'm still trying to explain to people how to spell our band name.
Shh, it's weird in French.
It's weird
Shut
in French.
But yes, and so I'm a singer. Emma's been teaching me drums. I'm not that good. I'm trying.
You've been playing a month. For God's sake.
It's been a while since that month. We're actually going to be filming a big reaction video to the series tomorrow. We're going to be filming that. Just kind of discussing the experience. We did a podcast where we discussed the experience as well and like kind of went over the points of the hurdles that beginner drummers can really struggle with. Stuff like confidence. I spent a lot of that series being like, And our editor, tried to cut out as much as she could, but not good. But yes, so I'm here to give Emma some moral support. I also do all the admin. So actually, if you're on our membership or you're on the crash course, I will also be the one who is answering all of your questions and handling all the admin, handling your account and managing all of that good stuff. So it's in good hands. Awesome. A short documentary on your drumming journey. She's done lots of interviews on this, to be fair.
I just did one. Percussion discussion, but it won't be out for a little while. So there's one also, I think, is it on our YouTube?
It is linked on our YouTube. If you look up Emma Taylor or Sounds Like Emma interview, you'll probably be able to find there's something. She's done a couple of them where she's explained her drumming journey. So what stress ball is that? I wish we were sponsored. Please sponsor us.
Please.
I have the whole series.
They're called
the Nido Nice Cubes, and they're just like squishy Maltese sugar balls, and they're so good. They're just
got the giant one. It's so satisfying.
There's a little baby one. There's a little middly one. There's a giant
until you try it, you won't realise how satisfying this is. But oh my god!
And it weirdly doubles as a great drum pad. Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thunk it? Yep.
It's so chunky.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for everyone who's saying thank you to us. Thank you.
Thank you for watching and thank you for your questions. We're going to be trying to do these live streams every Friday at 5 o'clock GMT. Yes. So if you're around, come and hang out. Come and chat. Save some questions up and give them to us on here.
We might be able to answer them with a massive whiteboard.
Now that we've got this in our arsenal, we forgot that this was just available to us, so we can answer some questions illustratively.
If you want to see that unmirrored, then check us out on
YouTube. Yeah, you can watch this back on YouTube, Instagram people, if you want to see us in the wide screen. But yeah, so
amazing.
Have a lovely evening, day, morning, wherever you're at. Have a wonderful time, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Au revoir. See you later. I don't know how to hang this up. Goodbye, Instagram. Goodbye, YouTube. Big love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.